Music Timeline, A Brief History of Music. Episode 1, I Love Baroque and Roll. There were 3 eras of Western music prior to the infamous classical period. The first was the medieval period, which began after the fall of the Roman Empire, around 500, and ends in the early 1400s. During this era, the music was either of the church, known as liturgical or secular. Liturgical music was famously known for Gregorian chanting, done by monks in choral music, as well as for the dramatic sounds of the organs. In other music throughout the era, you can hear wooden flutes and many plucked string instruments, like the lute, mandarin, guitar, and the psaltery. Medieval music began to evolve into the Renaissance era, which is widely accepted amongst historians to have taken place between the early 15th century and the early 17th century. Music during this period, as many of the other arts, were heavily influenced by the rise of humanistic thought, the recovery of Greek and Roman literature and art, the growth of commercial enterprise, the rise of the bourgeois class, and the Protestant Reformation. Additionally, the Gutenberg press's invention made widespread distribution of music and theory possible, making it more accessible and in demand with increased leisure time. Freed from the restraints of the medieval period, music became truly a new form of personal expression, like other arts. However, music maintained its importance, being maintained in both secular and sacred modes alike. Liturgical forms were mostly masses and motets throughout the period, but secular forms, such as the madrigal, began to make its way into churches. On the secular side of things, the main styles were German lied, Italian fritola, the French chanson, the Italian madrigal, and the Spanish villancico. Notable composers of the era included Thomas Tallis, Josquin des Prez, William Byrd, Giovanni Gabrieli, and Pierre de la Rue. The last era, prior to the classical period, was the Baroque era, which took place between 1600 and 1750. One of the richest and most diverse periods of music history. The Baroque period has brought us some of the most famous European pieces, like Pachelbel's Canon and Vivaldi's Four Seasons. The music produced during the era was largely driven by the ancient Greek and Roman idea that music was a potent tool of communication and its power. This revival of the conceptual power of musical art brought forth new sounds and ideals in the music of the era. For example, contrast became a major dramatic component in pieces, whether it be between loud and soft or solo and ensemble. These new concepts gave rise to a number of notable musical forms of the era, including opera, oratorio, cantata, sonata, and concerto, many of which were composed by some of the most remarkable composers in music history, like Vivaldi, Scarlatti, Rameau, Telemann, Handel, and Bach. As told, through the 3 rich eras before the classical, beautiful music has been characteristic of the Western world for a very long time, with its sound changing with every new era. I hope you enjoyed this brief history of music and the Music Timeline series. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Amy from Suburban Mass. Love ya. Bye.